The contract with the Talladega County EMA, is there some reason we're not funding them?
I do not have an answer for that.
Okay. It would seem like, we would need to. I'm assuming, come on down just a little bit.
I know the
Okay.
mayor brought that check back.
Come on down the page just a little bit to 46,510. I'm assuming that 46,000 is for the airport grant matching funds. Okay.
I'm assuming that's what it is as well, because it's the right amount.
Okay. Come on down just a little bit more to 46,525. The tax collect fee. Can you explain that?
That's when, if I read it right, that is what the state charges us to collect the sales tax for us. We have to gross the sales tax up and then we reduce it by this amount because we were not recording. We're just kind of new. And as a result, the fee was not ever showing up, and so you gross up the sales tax for the amount of the fee and then you reduce it, so you have to take the two together to net it out.
Right.
And unless there's a sales tax fee collection, and that's what that is, but Talladega County also charges us a fee to collect the ad valorem taxes, and that should be on here somewhere. That was one of the things that the auditors recommended that we start doing,
Okay.
and Talladega County has not. No, this one's fine. Huh?
Didn't leave it here.
Didn't leave what here?
Yeah.
No, this is fine, I brought it up here with me.
So you
Did you have one like this?
Yeah.
Oh, I brought this one with you.
so that 120, that $120,500 versus 2014 105, you think that 120 is probably a pretty good number though? Okay.
There's probably the end of the year adjustment money in there, since
I
it's
gotcha.
the last.
Yeah, that could be 15,000 in a hurry. And you might not know this. This might be a
I
Karen.
wouldn't take your pen.
I thought I left it here.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Is that it over there?
No.
On the very back page, Trish.
Pardon?
On the very back page, the first thing, the appropriation for the festival expenses. Okay, I'm assuming that the 10,000 is for the Marble Festival. The extra 5,000, is that for the catfish tournament, the chamber?
It was supposed to, was it 5 or was it 6?
It was 5.
Then I guess that's what that is.
Okay. I just had a
Because she was
question.
supposed to add it, and I'm not sure that she did, but.
It's not in the chamber appropriation in that line.
And does the 5,000 from the utility board for the festival expense, is that show up in there?
Shows up in the revenue.
Okay. That's why I was asking, is that a part of that?
Yeah, that's in the revenue.
I say it's in the revenue.
I think we already covered that.
There's
Yeah.
$3,000 that's in there that was for
That was the
other,
AEA.
the AMEA, but there should be $5,000 from
I remember it. It's in there
Talladega
somewhere.
County and 5,000.
But it's not specifically a part of the utilities board appropriation
It
at
shouldn't
35,100?
be. It should not be.
It's a revenue.
But I didn't see it in the revenue.
I think we covered that in revenue.
It should not be in there from the utilities board as part of their appropriation. It should be additional. It should be money coming in from somewhere else.
And I didn't see that, and that's why I was asking, because this 10,000 in the past has been 5,000 for us and 5,000 from them for a.
There should be something from Talladega County that shows up because of the animal shelter too, so.
Because this additional utilities board appropriation on the line up under it,
That was when they used to give us some additional money when they.
right, that was
didn't have
zero, and
extra.
I didn't know if that was where that should be.
It should be under contributions. Unless Karen has a,
Which is why I asked, because that's a $5,000 difference.
well, there's some more money from Talladega County that we probably need to kind of look for too.
10 grand, yeah. But are they obligated to that?
No,
Trish?
but they usually give it, so.
But if they're not obligated, if they usually give it and they're not obligated to it, would that be in the revenues? Would we?
If you're gonna put the expenditure, you
As
need
to
to put the
whether or
revenue
not
in.
they're obligated.
Sharon, where is the money from the
matter of opinion
utilities
because
board and
they-
from Talladega
they
County
do,
for
but
the
that's
Marble
strictly
Festival
for,
and for the animal shelter?
The portion outside of Silicaga.
I'll have to look.
So that's the new updated.
That door is locked. Could y'all hear me knocking?
What door?
Yeah, we just left you out there
Well,
intentionally.
What'd you do with my keys?
right there.
You let yourself in with them, did you?
Well, I did, but they won't be able to.
They won't be able to.
Shannon,
They
did
all
I?
got fobs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're a high class.
Sorry.
First class operation.
All right, tell me the question again.
All right, the money from the utilities board for the Marble Festival and the money from Talladega County for the animal shelter should be in revenues somewhere if you're gonna put the expenditures in, so where are they?
Is the expenditure in the animal shelter because that's just in and out, so.
I think it's in the Marble Festival.
Is that Trish 511?
It's on the very back page. The festival expense, or the appropriation is 586, 46, 580. And it shows $15,000, and I'm assuming 5 of it is for. The Marble Festival from the utilities board.
4,900 to 30 after the next cuts.
Is that where it would go? Funds from other agencies? Is that where you're gonna put it?
I gotta see my notes. Yeah. The file was loading now. Okay.
Alright, so I need to throw this one away.
Mhm.
Hey Shannon,
Hello.
how are you?
Fine. I've seen y'all so much, I think y'all stay with me. Okay, how we do today?
I'm all right.
Yeah. Where? Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm here.
Hey Billy,
Hey.
you sure
You're
did look
ready
nice
again.
tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What is a
just
good
lab
color
marble.
for you?
Thank you for thinking
So
about
welcome.
the boy.
Whatever can. Somebody gotta take care of it. So we figure that out? We're still looking at it.
We're still looking at it.
Building rent went down.
We had 5,000 last year for Arts Council, 3,000 for the Chamber of Commerce.
3,000 came from AMEA, and it appears to be
In there.
That was awesome.
in here on
Nice.
contributions cash.
Okay. And then the funds from other
I don't see any. There's no,
agencies, there's nothing budgeted.
but there's money. I think that's probably at 25,518. The number is 34,660.
We're just at the start, we're not really anywhere.
You gotta put $180,000 in that for the fire department grant too.
Billy, did you have anything as far as contracts and appropriations go? Did you have anything that just
But
jumped out at you?
Only thing I see is maybe the museum, I know they asked for 25, I don't know if we can give them that, but.
Okay, I see it. No, I don't either.
I don't know, just, well,
Museum is 46,029.
029.
two games,
They asked for 13.
they asked for
13.
25.
Contract
They
museum.
had 13 last year, audited, they asked for 25.
It's the one spot.
What's that?
Recreation
Asked for
museum.
25.
Well, that's
We got
not it.
10-8 last
So
year.
where's the county's money? And that should be
Okay,
a
I see
state
what you're
grant.
saying.
That state, that 25, that should be a state grant.
They said not to call it right now.
What you looking at? What item, what's the
We
line?
spent, we budgeted 10-8, we spent 13-3 on it.
295,
See, this new
Okay,
one
so the
doesn't have that.
10,000
So should
user
you
is not done in the
wanna
animal
raise
This
shelter.
new one's
15?
different.
I don't know.
this is an old one, so.
I don't
Okay, so
see
which one
anything
you
that
want?
shows
This
the
is
money.
11.3 is what I got.
What do you show on 46,029?
Well, the newest one that Karen just gave us has 12,000.
It's neither in nor out.
46,029.
It's neither
I'm
in
sorry.
nor out.
Look,
$10,800.
$10,000 is, isn't it?
Doesn't
2,000.
show what they
What about
requested.
$10,000?
25.
It shows that they're,
That's not
yeah, it doesn't
in
show
nor
what they're
out.
But
requesting,
you
it shows the
got
unaudited.
$10,000 as the
Yeah.
festival expense. You got actually
It doesn't show
15,000.
your average either, that's why I got these pictures. I was
But
looking at all
that's
this.
not
Well, I mean, you
for,
see the teacher's pay is.
We don't,
I guarantee.
I got it, no lie.
You got another one,
it's 5 for us, 5 for the utilities board, and that's 5 for the fishing radio.
we had a for Cabela's.
So the 5 coming in, did you put the 5 from the utilities
is a
board in their appropriation?
Yeah.
So it's not in.
So what we got figured out over there?
Well, we gotta put $10,000 in and out from the
1811.
county for the animal shelter, but that'll be a wash. We're trying to figure out the festival expense. We put in an extra 5 for the Cabela's.
Which is general fund.
So that extra 5 is definitely the Cabela's thing though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause that's really the only question Carol had was whether,
Yes, it got put back in there after we had that second meeting.
okay. So that's in the festival expense
Festival
line?
expense.
Okay,
Mhm.
good deal. Guess that answers one of my questions.
Okay. So Trish, do you think I need to pump in another 3?
Well, if you're gonna show the expenditure of it, you need to show the revenue of it.
Cancel
If you're gonna show the expenditure, you need to show the receipt. The income.
There's a number on these two.
That's what I'm saying, those are new numbers.
That's after the changes from the other batch. You changed all ad valorem to 75,000 if you wanna highlight it. All the 6 of Apollo ad valorem. Right there. You raised it to 75. Alright, local gasoline tax, you raised it to 170. Lodgings tax, you raised to 180. We lowered building rent, which is $33,500 down here, building rent. We lowered it to $16,260 because JCS moved out, and we don't have a firm commitment. It may go back up. I've offered it to the State Department of Revenue for $750 for both spaces. The space that they currently have that they pay $105 for, let them migrate over into an additional space for the same amount of money. We'll lose $105 a month as opposed to $750. So, but
That's-
anyway, $16,260. is what that goes down to. The last page, y'all lowered police contributions from 5,000 to 3,400.
I thought we went back up on that.
Not unless y'all talked about it after y'all told me to mark
The
it
police
down.
department,
Yeah, because we're not getting the part of
the
it.
Oh,
contributions.
that's right, we decided.
Yeah,
not to.
we're
We
low.
talked about it, we decided
No, I
not
don't,
to.
yeah, that's right, that's right.
All right, well, now,
Okay, so Karen is looking at,
We're gonna have to up funds from other agencies, an additional, not gonna have to, it's a good thing, $3,000.
just 3?
Mhm.
Why?
Because that's what we had budgeted going out.
So you're not gonna put the Marble Festival in?
Is that a guarantee?
As much as the 3 is.
Okay.
If you're not gonna budget the revenue, then lower the expense.
Let's make it less complicated on them. Funds from other agencies, it's near the bottom in your revenues.
34,660. 34,660.
30,
34,660. Right now, there's nothing except 25,018 in the line.
Okay, and that's gonna be $8,000.
that's gonna be, okay, 34,660.
Mm-hmm.
Funds from other agencies, you're gonna make it 8.
The 2015 budget will be 8.
And that will be the 5,000 from the utilities board and 3 from AMEA.
For the Marble Festival.
Alright, and you're not putting the animal shelter in there at all.
I will put it in there, but it's a wash dollar wise.
So are you gonna add it to that 8?
Hold on a second.
Make it
finish this
18.
note.
If we do that, it's gotta come out somewhere too.
Yeah.
It'll be 18.
If it's listed on one side, it's gotta be listed on the other.
Yeah.
They give us 10, don't they?
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, they have in the past.
Okay, so let's make it 18
Alright.
and make a note that it's what it is.
Is the 10 going out listed?
No,
Not
we're gonna
yet,
take
but
that
it
down
will
there
be.
too.
10 from 4.
Where will that go?
Animal shelter.
Shelter additional.
Okay.
And that line item may or may not be showing up on there.
Where is that?
10,000 from the county. For animal shelter.
Where is that? Where's ours?
It'll be down in the 586 says,
On expenses. You talking about on appropriation?
Yeah.
46,026.
it's hidden on there, Joe, so y'all, that'll have to be a,
Yeah, I don't
Write it
have
in
it
on
on this
yours.
new one. Yeah.
write it in on that 46027 right up above it,
Okay.
and I'll go ahead and line item it there and add that line
Okay.
without having to pause.
Okay, what is the $222,000 grant, is that
Hold on one second. Alright, gotcha. Now what now?
federal grant, 222, 228, you've got 86,500 in there, what is that? Budgeted.
Are you in revenues?
Yeah, I'm still in revenues.
Okay, I'm down for that right now.
You've got 86,500 in there.
Which line is this?
Yeah. Tell me the number so I can just search it.
34,610.
DOJ, PD hiring grant, and the assistance to firefighters that we've already gotten.
Not the new one,
Not the new one.
so the new one,
Will be added to that.
do you wanna budget it or not?
Well, it's just an application.
So is the 46.
Doesn't get budgeted.
You've committed to it, so you need to put it in there if that's the case. If you're gonna put the 46 for the airport in. Cause it's just an application right now too, but they've committed to it.
Bill, do you have any more questions for us, contracts and appropriations stuff?
So I'm putting 180 in.
Shannon, did you have any contract appropriation questions? Tom, did you have any contracts and appropriation
I'm trying to figure out a way to
questions?
do this.
I do, but they're,
180. And 180.
they're getting close to it, they're just not quite there.
Yeah, I'm just
They're on
trying
the
to,
other side.
trying to see who I need to go to next. Try to expedite this process.
Okay, just added that in there.
Mhm.
Okay, what else?
So we're
Okay, so I
sticking,
gotta take that money back out.
Okay, but what else in there?
DOJ.
Did you put sales tax?
Do what?
Did you do anything on sales tax?
Yes.
You fixed sales tax.
But now wait a minute, don't.
I'm working off the
Okay.
worksheet from the other night. Tell me
But
what
let's
you did
finish
with-
grant income. If we add 180 there, is that done?
The
is that
revenue
everything?
is done.
Okay, but then we gotta take it off the bottom.
That's fine, but don't take it off the bottom yet. Let's do it with revenues. All right, what did you do with sales tax?
Sales tax, we bumped up $170,000.
170,
Mm-hmm. And that's in the new copy already.
okay? So
And we
highlight
took
your
out,
sales, highlight sales tax, because that went up to offset,
We're at,
sales tax.
what line?
31,811.
Middle of the page. Oh, right in there somewhere.
How much?
Went up to what?
It's on there, we added
it's already there, just highlight
170,000.
it.
She added
So it's
170.
370?
6,420. 6.420.
It was 6,250,000 and she added 170 to it.
And that's because,
Of the,
Incentive.
incentive agreement that we have in place.
okay,
So we
And
go-
that increase was based on double the projected cost of that incentive.
okay,
All
Now,
we had was the first quarter, it was about 21.
yeah.
So if you
Now
go to the
this-
email, there's,
No, we shouldn't have done that.
what?
You shouldn't have done 170, I was wrong.
Why?
Because it's 1/2 of everything that's produced and they were already producing some. So you don't increase your revenue because they were already producing.
That's not gonna help the number at all.
You put half of it in.
CDBG expense,
You put half of it in. Okay.
I'm listening, Tom.
CDGB expense,
Yeah.
250.
Uh-huh.
I think
I
the
put
impression
85,
that
you'll
was
be safe.
225 because the project
How
was
much more are they
475 with
producing?
250 grant and 225 was gonna be our portion.
Let's look at that.
Okay.
Let us do some research on sales tax, so just kinda,
So we're not adding one?
I think that's a little bit high, because they were already producing, and that number will probably increase some, but probably not that
Yeah.
much. That's considering
we were
that it
at
would be
60.
new money and it's not.
340 at the end of 14.
Where are you, Tom?
Okay, are
Um,
we in expenses or?
contract
revenue?
appropriation,
46,550.
Okay, Karen, let's go,
46,550.
let's go to the fire department.
Oh, you
Right
guys,
now, wait a
Stop.
minute, we're gonna
Where's
take that
the
down to
incentives?
75.
Huh?
I'm gonna take that down to
85.
let's let them
that number
get finished with
6335.
what they're
You'll
doing,
make what?
yes.
6335. 6335 on sales tax, guys.
Do what?
6335. I'm sorry, I can't go from revenue expenses very quickly.
6, 3, 3.
So that's plus
Right.
85.
3,
Fine.
6,335.
And then there's an offsetting expense.
000. Right?
And
Yeah,
Pete,
okay.
fire department,
Okay. You've already put the offset in
of
theirs.
the match.
Okay, and that's in incentives. Incentives is
Yes.
in A and G.
Mm-hmm.
on page 4, I'm assuming. Where? Is it, or is it in the very back?
Where is that?
I don't remember the number, I have to look for it. I think it was. Okay, it's on page 4. And, right in the middle, 42504, under dues and subscriptions.
So that
I
needs
don't
to
have
go
it in
what
mine,
now?
So you fixed all that.
Are you looking at the old one or the new one?
I'm looking at my old one, I'm working from my old one. Did you
Okay.
fix
I
it?
fixed it in the new one.
Okay.
So,
Ah.
2504,
So that should show 85,000.
Correct.
yeah, and that's the 85 y'all just took off of
We
the-
just put in, yeah, we
Revenue.
just put in sales tax.
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
so that's gonna
let's
be
fix the fire department
necessarily
quick.
washed. Okay, we did, what else did we do there? We put the DOJ in, I mean the FEMA
the
grant.
180. Mm-hmm.
And fire department.
Yes. Which is a trailer, so.
It's a trailer and a brush truck.
Mm-hmm.
But you've only got the, you don't have to put the capital in, you just have to put what we gotta pay out. Yeah, you do have to put the
Okay,
capital
so
in, because
pay it
you're
back
gonna have
out.
to spend it, yeah, put the
That's
capital
right.
in. It's $180,000,
Is that with or without our part?
that's without our part. The grant is the total is $180,000.
That's right. 17.
So- Just put the whole 180 in there, plus the 885 is ours. I mean, that 8550 is
50.
ours.
Okay.
So the $9,000, so 180 will cover our match, plus the grant writer fee for the 8550.
That's right. We're looking at
The
17.
180 is the total.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, that's the total.
Mm-hmm.
But we've gotta put up 9 of that, so if you put 180 in the expenditure plus the 8550, then you've got it all
Okay,
covered.
so I'm taking out the 9. Alright, so guys, on automotive expense under the capital of fire department, close to the bottom,
All right.
188,850.
what
That's
line
number
is
You putting it in
4701.
auto, or you putting it in other? Where
Put
do
in
you put
auto,
it?
cause it's the truck.
So that's what
The
I'm
trailer
saying.
is, it's a rehabilitation trailer, or what do you call it,
rehab truck.
Rehab
Rehab,
trailer.
yeah, that's
it'll
right.
be fine.
Is it an actual trailer or does it have to be?
Oh, it's a trailer.
Yeah.
So 47001 gets what?
So you're gonna make it 180,
188,550.
you're not gonna put the grant writer fee there. Grant writer fee's gonna be up under services, professional services.
Does he even have a professional up in there?
Yeah, he does. 41,580,
41,580,
Mhm.
8550,
8550.
180 even on the grant.
Right.
Yeah, I hope y'all brought an eraser.
Can you give me that again?
You're on the automotive.
47001 is what?
8550.
85.
Huh? 41580. 4,000. Account number
Automotive.
41580 is professional fees. If you're in fire department automotive.
I'm trying to get the number I need on 47001.
For what?
$180,000.
Then you're in the wrong department.
47001.
You're in the wrong
ANG.
department.
Yeah, you're in the wrong
You're
department.
looking
We're in
for
fire
530.
department, Joe.
See, these are the department numbers that John's
Give me
on.
the numbers, please.
On page
The line
10.
number.
Page 10.
Yeah. You're looking at 530 47001.
Next to last.
And that's automotive inventory, that's gonna be 180.
That line's gonna be 180,
Yes.
180,000.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, and then scooch up to professional.
Which is
Right in here somewhere. It's 41,580.
41,580.
Look for this number, 41,580. You got it?
Right under legal.
Okay, it's gonna be 8,550.
8550.
Okay.
And
That's
that's
the
the
grant
matching.
writer fee.
That's the grant writer fee.
And that's the brush truck down there and the trailer.
Okay.
And when it's actually spent, the trailer will probably go over into other capital as opposed to automotive, because it's not rolling.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But for budgeting purposes, we'll clean it up downstairs.
Okay.
Okay, do the Marble Festival.
Hold on one second, I wanna make sure I've got this in the spreadsheet.
Since I don't have the breakdown, I know that he gave me the breakdown on that. He never did give me any paper on it. I still don't have paper on it.
For the grant.
For the file, for the, minute file.
I think I'm eating lunch with him tomorrow, so I'll ask him again for you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to do both parts.
You're fine, I just don't wanna go back.
Alright.
Are we done with the firefighters grant?
I'm having to do what I did downstairs.
The 8,500 is all you're gonna spend.
Yeah. Right.
The rest of it'll be, well, in the 9, but the 8,500
Yeah, we got
is a
the
given.
matching and the grant writer. So, what do you crunch though? Snyder's Hanover.
Cheap.
It's not 180 in the revenue either.
Hmm?
It's not 180 in the revenue either. It's less than 9.
Who was it?
72.
171.
Yeah, 171-ish.
For the fire department thing? Why is that? Cause it was 189.
Our match.
It was 180
80.
total,
Minus 9.
and the 9 is our match.
Um,
So it's 171.
Threw it all away. So, taking 9,000 off of that. I got 257.5. I think I'm caught up.
86.5 plus the 171
86.5 plus the 171.
is what?
257.5.
265. Okay, so we're good on that.
Okay, I've gotten both festivals fixed. The grant revenue fixed and incentive, so I think we're good. Both
Alright,
ends.
you did both festivals and the
Mhm.
animal shelter.
So in the
Animal
festival,
shelter in.
in the festival expenses, we've got what? Marble Festival
10,000 and Cabela's 5.
and Cabela's 5. Okay.
And then the animal shelter,
And 5,000 of that is coming from the utilities board.
I just stuck it in 46027, but I'm highlighting it to put it in additional, because they don't have that line. And neither do I.
okay.
All right.
We're up to speed, right?
We're ready?
Well, I got another question here for one of the things that they were wrestling with a minute ago, back and forth with each other. On the sales and use tax jumping up 85 and this at the
The
incentive
incentives at
expense at 85, that would not be them getting half, that would be them getting all of the increase. Half of the other and all of the other. That
I
algebra's
increased
not,
it. They're already producing,
I understand that.
so you can't say that half of what they're getting paid is the increase, because they're getting half of everything they produce, increase and not.
I understand that. What I'm saying though is that you made the increase of the same amount as the expense. That's saying that they're not gonna be increasing revenues, that they would
I
actually
didn't
be.
decrease revenues, Tom. I increased revenues to account for what we're paying them.
By the same amount, and
Mhm.
that algebra's not adding up.
It should. Hopefully, they're gonna increase enough that you don't dig into your existing revenue stream.
We shouldn't have.
Well, I understand
Yeah.
that. That's basically what I'm saying, that if you're gonna increase it over here, the projected over here, just to take it out right over here is not adding up that they're gonna be increasing, if you didn't take that into account.
If you're giving them half of everything they produce, you don't wanna reduce your existing revenue stream, so you are taking into account that they're going to get at least what they.
You're not, then you're not understanding my,
I'm
what my
clearly not, so
concern.
tell me what number you wanna use.
I don't know, that's what I'm saying, y'all took it back
I see what
before.
you're saying. So
You-
if you start with a number that includes what they were doing last year,
Right,
okay, and the incentive is meant to up their sales tax, and we give them back half of it, then whatever we're paying out should be double above, just like we did the first time.
You can't-
Except that's too high.
You can't do that, because they're getting part of what they're currently producing.
It's not half of an increase, it's half of their total.
Total.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we would have to see how much
Of an
of the
increase.
total sales tax they generate that
increase.
21 justifies before we could really hit a number. However, in looking at sales tax, as y'all see from this year, that's not a crazy number that we're putting in there. But I will follow up and see what the total gross
That's what I'm
was this
saying, is
year
that
and
that-
kind of,
that can skew a couple of different
Right.
directions there.
But it's safer just to, it's probably more conservative to do it that way, because you take what they've currently produced, and clearly, based on their projected quarterlies, that's what it's gonna be.
I also need to look at their pattern, because I'm sure
Oh,
they
yeah.
kind of,
There's a trend, yeah.
They do,
and I'll look at one quarter,
but you don't have it up here.
yeah.
I think this is probably a good year to be conservative with that number.
Well, and another one of the factors though is that they're just now finishing the addition of the third
Yeah.
lot, which
That's true.
is the biggest reason in my mind for doing it. So that's, I'm expecting it to skew back in the other direction. In fact, some of the figures I brought back from that ERC thing we looked at in Austin was showing showing that from the year before.
Are we getting too detailed on a particular account for
What now?
such detailed on,
I
because it's
know.
private?
Yeah.
Well, I was just going by the numbers they gave.
Yeah.
That you didn't fall out of your chair when they said them, so.
Okay, so,
What do you think? What, you just want me to dig a little deeper and guess?
yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be a guess regardless of what we do. Most of it is.
Yeah,
Most
it's a
of this-
budget, it's not gonna be
Most of this
perfect.
document is all a guess. So, but I do think with that revenue, with that increase,
But if you're paying them, half of what they're producing,
I understand. I see what you're saying.
your half is going to be that.
You should be paying them half of the increase.
You should be paying them half of what you project,
Is there, yeah.
and you don't wanna reduce your existing stream because you don't want them to get into that.
Right.
So you're assuming that if they're getting half of what they're producing now and it's gonna be consistent, and it has been,
Mhm.
then
I
without
hear you.
doing a whole lot of deep analysis,
I hear you. Analysis that,
you just
Yeah.
consider that you're gonna keep half of what they're producing.
yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, it makes plenty of sense. And like you said, that's conservative, and I think conservative is the best way to go with this particular situation this year.
But it- yeah,
We don't have a
my-
track record.
My measure is what they billed me twice,
Right,
and that's half.
right.
So I know I'm gonna pay them probably 4 times that. which means they're producing twice that. So if I project half of it,
They're gonna be
then the other half's
pretty
mine,
close.
right?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Logic is, yeah.
yeah.
Without doing deep analysis, which I don't think we've done on any of the others.
Okay.
Comfortable with that?
I'm-
But I'll,
I think it's, yeah. I don't think we
What
have
line
enough.
is it?
Hmm?
What line are we talking about?
We're still
What's
sales
the
tax.
number,
Yeah,
gonna-
that's-
what's the number
yeah,
gonna be?
sales tax.
Are we gonna leave it like it was?
If y'all are comfortable with the 6,335,000,
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
good
we
with
don't
it.
need to leave it like it shows on this new sheet.
6,335,000.
Yeah,
Cause I don't think,
we can't go 6,420.
no.
I meant the last number we had.
Okay. We need to be at 6,335, I think.
Alright,
I think that's probably,
I'm showing revenue now at 13,749,043.
Run that by me again.
13,749,043.
Go for 3. That $1.
Tell me that
it's a
now.
different number, different colors.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else.
Is Doug coming? Is Doug coming?
13, what was that, 13?
13,749,043. Okay, so we got Billy and Shannon's questions as far as contracts and appropriations answered. Joe, let's start with you, man. And what questions do you have, or comments, or remarks?
Why is there not anything in EMA, Karen? That was the first
Oh, yeah,
question Rocky
yeah.
asked me. Why is there nothing in EMA?
Because they are not requesting anything this year.
All right.
I had to take it out because I put it in there.
Way to
So
go.
there's no request?
No, ma'am.
Hey,
As a matter of fact,
We did request.
EMA.
they sent the check back.
Nice.
What's that number now? Cause you told us the
Oh,
other
What
side.
do we lose for that?
You told us the other
You
side.
Probably
Lose
gonna change
anything.
You don't
more.
wanna finish
I
that
understand.
number.
Still get
They
everybody
obviously
got
got,
that
yeah,
number?
they obviously
You
got
want that?
funded.
Yeah.
Um,
Can everybody else maybe
Yeah.
do that?
Everybody else take,
805.
follow the leader.
Everybody else gets 5,000 back.
Thank you.
All right, you ready?
I'll ask us one at a time,
sorry.
y'all. I get skewed and I get crazy.
Come on, Karen.
All right, here we go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Shoot, Joe.
All right, on appropriations 46,103. What is that? Additional appropriation, what's that for?
46,103.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. 580. Okay.
That one and the next one, what are those for?
Oh, okay. You're talking about like on the library and
Yeah.
the. Okay.
What is additional appropriation for? I know it goes to something, but I can't remember what it was.
You need
These
to
are-
explain.
This
to
is the base appropriation, okay? On the top one, that's the base appropriation. There have been one-time increases, there have been increases given for raises, there have been increases given for insurances that did not affect the overall base, because when y'all do percentages or when you do level funding, you still have to fund those insurances that you agreed to fund. You still have to fund those portions of raises that you agreed to fund. That's what those
So they go
additional.
into an additional.
Right.
Okay.
So you always fall back to your base appropriation. Because otherwise, that base appropriation grows and becomes whatever those others were. Yeah.
All right.
And the utility appropriation is not a cash out until the bill happens.
But what's it for? What is that?
It's for utilities. The first one is for, the insurance is for insurance.
Right.
It's for health insurance increases that we picked up when we didn't pass it on. We funded up to 10 of their employees. And the additional appropriation was for those
Salary.
very things, the salary increases, the cost of living that was given by the last council and all that. So those are those special raises that have been given over the years, either the pro rata part of it, or, and the same thing with the Parks and Rec, their base appropriation, their insurance, their additional. Their utilities is paid out because that's one of those things that y'all added. I know not specifically, but when I say y'all, I'm talking about council,
Yeah,
council in
or
general.
continuation.
Right. That's, the council added lighting to certain areas, and that's the utilities for it.
Same for the library,
Pardon?
and the same for the library.
The library is one of those things that she asked y'all to fund. She does not get a cash out on that until she runs over. She wanted to pay her utilities. That was for the new building, and the council did not want to give her an unknown appropriation to cover the increase in utilities. So when she exceeds what she has budgeted for utilities, which was based on the existing building that she had, when she goes over her projection, what she's built in there, then she brings us her bill and we reimburse her.
All right. 46020. Contract SCS additional.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
That's for the senior age, the people that we pay that work at the senior center. That's something that we have to pick up as part of our contract with East Alabama.
And the next line?
That is the admin fee. That's what East Alabama charges us for that program.
Okay. 46510. Contract miscellaneous.
That's gonna be the airport
That's the airport.
That's the airport grant,
grant matching.
the application that y'all have committed to if it is funded.
All right. 46028. We don't have anything in there, but what
That's a
did
special.
What was that?
That's when we gave them the one-time $10,000 and $15,000 during the year.
And we did something
If
on
you
that last
change-
year, but
if
where
you
did it
change
show
what you do
up?
with those,
Where did those show up?
we didn't give them cash last year.
Not last year.
We made some repairs to the building and it ended up under the building expense, but we didn't give a cash outlay. See, in the past, council has said, we're gonna give them an extra
Understand.
$10,000, and it's,
No, we gave them
Because
some
again-
money, but it wasn't, I mean, that was unbudgeted stuff. That wasn't an appropriation.
Right on the Lake Howard appropriation, 46502.
those are utilities and, cost of the lake itself.
We're budgeting 15. The 3-year average is 65.
But the 15 is that 75 that goes to COGS that we're supposed to be giving them when they
So that's that difference.
present us a bill.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was gonna ask where that
It's
went.
still in there.
75 for COGS.
All right. Good.
Hey, real quick, while we're on that page, I'm sorry, Joe. 46,550. Tom brought this up.
46,550,
That's the
Okay.
CDBG expense.
CDBG,
Was it,
that's East Alabama.
Tom, well, I know, but I thought that was, and Tom brought this up. Wasn't our part like 222?
Cause it was, the total was 470, I was thinking
472.
473 or.
I thought the
4.
grant was for 250, and our part was for 222.
I can double check, but I thought it was 5.
The whole,
Yes,
we got it.
I don't know. I
No,
didn't
cause
see
when,
any of
when
it.
it was proposed to us to apply for it,
Yeah,
the
you get
tab
a
was in the
$250,000. You
470s.
get a $250,000 grant. Is basically how it was proposed to us.
Mhm.
The total to tear the building down was 472. So that left our part at 222.
Did that include administrative fees?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question. Or that's, Tom brought that up, and I agree.
You
I
can
mean,
check
I-
on it.
I'll check.
We'll check and correct that. If that, we'll pull the actual documents.
Cause I mean, that's
Do we have actual
$28,000.
We've got the application and the award, and I'm gonna say it was 250.
Do you
Now, I
have
mean, if
one?
we got a $500,000 grant, then okay,
Yeah,
fine,
yeah.
so be it. But, you know,
Have you got it where you can put your hand on it?
Downstairs, but I'm pretty sure it's 250, but I'll double check, and if it is, it's not gonna be a
Well,
huge
so the difference would have to be some sort of
Yeah,
administrative
Administrative
fee,
fees.
because it wasn't, I'm with him,
Yeah.
that was the total
the total,
cost
that
on
was
it.
the estimate,
before
not
something,
the actual engineers.
that's right.
So then you've got administrative fees, and I think she built in it. I don't know if there's a contingency in there.
Let's just check on it and make
Okay.
sure that's
Oh,
right.
well,
Cause like it's, you know, that's $28,000, you know,
yeah.
that's up in the air. Alright,
And
sorry
we
about
need
that.
it now.
Yeah, we don't need it in the air. We need it firmly bolted to the ground. Alright,
Is
good.
there the offset and revenue for that?
Check.
Or is that,
That's
that's
just
in the
our-
special books?
Mhm.
That's in the project books, okay.
46,503.
46.5.
Utilities, I guess, is that utilities for Little League Scouts, et cetera?
46
I don't have a 46.503.
It's down,
Where?
go down a little bit.
No, on my sheet here, I don't have it. Where is it?
Farther down.
586, 46.
503, okay. Utilities, that's what we pay for the
Little League fields,
Yeah.
the lights,
scouts,
the
yeah.
utility bills.
In
For
the
Little League and the Scout Hut.
Is that a good number, Karen? Looking at the unaudited, is that a good number?
We spent,
Do we have something special that we spent this year?
Yeah, didn't we,
We did some work.
I don't know if that would go
We
on
did.
utilities.
But if we spend anything over there, that's
Well,
what
yeah,
it's
we,
for.
remember it was damaged by that flood. We gave them some money to repair it, didn't we?
The Little League, I mean, the Girl Scout.
The Girl Scout.
I
hut.
thought Jim paid for that,
You did?
cause we got insurance. This is all utilities.
There's not anything extra in there, so that may not be a good number. It looks like it's about,
15,765, yep.
looks like it's about 2,000 shy of what we actually spent. Do y'all wanna bump it? Is that consistent with what we've done in years past, or is
Do
there something?
you have a
is that
3-year
those
average, Jeff?
leaks?
What's
Well, one of the
See, we had
reasons,
some leaks.
I mean, right, if it went up, but it was because of the water. They came and asked us for the extra money because of the water leak that wasn't detected.
That
We
was
got-
taken off there, that was removed.
Yeah, that was
The
Little
water
League
wasn't,
field.
the sewer
The
The
was,
sewer was.
which was half of, I mean, it was more than half of what,
But
More than double.
that's the difference between the 15,765
Could
and
very well
the
be. Yeah.
13,660.
You're talking about Little League field,
It's
right?
a
The
19
concession stand,
It's a
yeah.
$1,900 overage
Mm-hmm.
versus budget.
and there was two of them, so that might be,
I think
pretty close to
I think
being right.
13.8 still probably a pretty good number.
Well, in 2010, we spent 16.6, 2011, we spent 14.4, and 2012 was 17.2.
So what does that come out?
3-year average is 16.129.
Not need to bump it up.
So, okay, give it to me one more time. The 3-year average is what, Joe?
16.129.
129. And then this year it is
15,765.
No.
86.
no, we got 13,860 budgeted. That's a difference of 2269.
just add 2,000 to it,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
make it 15,860. And that should provide a little bit of a cushion, assuming they were making some improvements over there. That's why they asked for the extended lease, so hopefully they'll
Yeah.
eliminate some of those potentials for leaks.
I said, why don't we just make it even 15?
Okay, just 15.
I mean, that's my suggestion. Just add what would that be? 1140.
Okay, 50.
15,000.
All right.
1140 increase.
Okay, Joe.
Appropriation flagpole RM expense.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
It's repair and maintenance for flags.
Flags.
Flags, okay.
Here at City Hall.
Appropriation for miscellaneous expense.
Mm,
Is that where your 1,500 went? I mean, your 15,000 went.
what,
The 15 that we put in the different festival places, is that where that went?
16,000 actually.
let me see what was in there last year, 46510.
Last year you had 16 budgeted. Had 16 unaudited. Never had anything in there before that last year.
That was the additional pay to the schools
Oh, yeah, the safety
for the
improvements,
security.
security improvements.
Then why didn't we put that with their stuff?
We,
As a miscellaneous to BOE?
And if that's the
I
case,
can't
then
get
why
in
are
the
we
system
doing?
to see.
And if that's the case, then why are we putting that in there for this year?
This year, that's for the. Let me see. Hold on.
That
I
should
think
come
that's a
off.
mistake, Joe.
That should come off of there.
Mm-hmm. Yay, money.
So
Where's
that
that?
needs to
So
come
that
out,
goes
16
away.
comes
Where's
out.
that?
That was a one-time, that is on line item of 586-46510. That was a, an additional expenditure given to the Board of Education for security improvements that they did.
That's that miscellaneous expense.
That's right, that shouldn't be in there for this year. That was, should not, that was a one-time
Well, at least that helps.
deal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get half, I'm just gonna get half again that much,
Alright.
about 2 minutes.
I hear you, Joe.
Board of Education,
Mm-hmm. Just looked it up.
Alright,
it shouldn't be a miscellaneous expense, it ought to be additional appropriation to Board of Education.
appropriation for other building expense.
That's the 4th Street property, and the little flag
Outline.
building over here.
So we'll still have that.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
won't have that much, hopefully. Part of it's utilities.
Build,
Was 11,000 on the weather sirens?
That's what I was about to ask, why is there such an increase on weather sirens?
It went up. We upped that after we got the first bill.
Oh, that's nice.
We got additional sirens.
Yeah, I knew that. So that's a good number.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like $82 less than, more than what the actual,
Right.
Right.
Expense was.
We under budgeted last year, truth be told.
We
The
never,
bill comes late though,
we never did go back and add the
extra,
extra for those that we got additional. We approved it in the middle of the year, but we didn't.
do a budget amendment.
Okay.
Right, that's the sales tax collection fee. You asked about that.
The collection fee, does that $120,500, you think that's probably a good number?
Well, it's 2%.
You may have to increase it since we increased.
Sales tax,
I'm gonna put up a
Not much
formula.
though.
it's not a whole lot.
Okay, if I do 2%, it's 126,700.
26,000 on it. 126,700.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that number needs to be 126,700?
Because we increased sales tax, you need
That's
to
right.
increase that too. All right, where does the county's fee
Okay,
show up?
you're talking about
That's
46,525
correct,
Yeah.
to what
Net
number?
of the-
You just net it
126,700.
in, so you don't show the gross.
Yeah.
Because we increased sales tax.
Alright, so 62.
Naturally, it's gonna go up.
Okay, but when you know, we were talking about the county actually charges us a fee to collect the ad valorem. They charge the same admin fee and everything. We net it out. So theoretically, you could net this out, but the auditors wanna see it. They wanna see it on the ad valorem too, but we don't always have that number readily available.
Okay. Okay, so 126,700 there.
Mhm.
All right. Joe, anything else?
Yeah, one last thing. Where is the money, and what amount was it that we had set aside for the web design software?
$7,000.
Let's
It was
find-
in E&L last year.
Let's find a place for it this year.
Okay.
You have an invoice, I was told.
Yeah, we already paid for it.
It's
We
already
got it
paid for.
in like at the end, right near the end of September.
Cause
Because
the
we had the money in
web,
the
the
budget.
website's down.
Mhm.
According to Sandy, the website's down.
Well, we haven't implemented the new one yet. We just did the agreement and went ahead and did that for the services that they're already working on as far as picking out templates and all that sort of jazz.
So there's no reason to budget that money this year because
Not-
that's been paid for,
Not the
not the initial cost.
initial, but
Okay.
there'll be, is it $100 a month?
Is
Joe,
it in
what
here?
was it? I think it was $100 a month. Posting.
Well, I was
In
working
there.
under assumption that we hadn't bought that yet.
Mayor, we signed that.
The mayor what?
The mayor signed that one.
I was working under the assumption that we hadn't bought that yet because we're working with other companies to come up with something different.
Who was?
I was.
Oh, but I thought that was the one you were working with.
No, that's why I said hold off on that, because we've talked to several different ones. So I'm in the middle of I'm in the middle of all this work that we've already got to check.
Same one. We
Mm-mm.
got the guy in that you had talked to because you had talked to him, and they were tit for tat with what we were already looking at. So we deferred to the one that you had already been putting time in with.
So it's
Is
not the
it
first thing.
VC3 or what?
VC3.
VC3,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
we
It's who,
because after we found out that's who you were, we set up a demo with them and started working with them.
who,
Yeah, it's them.
VC3.
VC3?
Is it $100 a month? And do we have that in here anywhere?
Let me look under E&L.
Did you put it in E&L instead of A&G?
Because he sent me
It's
that
under
invoice,
promo.
and I sent an email back to him asking why he was sending an invoice for something we haven't done
Promotional
yet.
expense, we've got $8,000 in promotional expense, that's 42,505.
But that's not it.
That's not all
for
of
the-
That's not all of it? Okay.
Hold on, let me see what that's compromised
It would probably
of.
be under professional.
It's not under professional, it's under professional.
Hmm?
Let's see if it's under professional. Nope. Do you think that should be promotional or professional? Because we're kinda gonna be doing it ourselves once we get it going. It's really just a hosting fee.
They can do both.
Mhm.
Wherever it is, the easiest place to put it without it getting lost, I guess.
I would say professional. I mean promotional just because we've got those other two big deals in professional this year.
Okay, sounds good.
Is there,
But remember, promotional is where everything that everybody comes and asks the council for
Yeah.
ends up.
It is, but
can you add another line that's specific to
put it in.
this?
I
We
put it
can.
under professional,
we can.
put it under professional,
What line is it?
because it is a professional, I mean, you're paying 41,580. I
Alright.
put the website there.
I'm gonna up it $1,200. And if it's more than that, it's not much more.
It's $100 a month. You're doing it 1,200 a year.
In my head, I've got a 105 or 110. It's like right around $100 a month. Okay, so professional is now $26,800.
Okay,
Right.
What else is there? That's the,
Special and
is that where that needs to go? The special master needs to go in there?
that's where it is right now.
That's a settlement. Anyway, it's fine, as long as we know where it is.
Okay.
alright, Joe, you got anything else? Tom?
When, we approved the airport authority, the idea was for, airport authority to sit down with the mayor, work up a budget, and they did. And what they agreed with the mayor on came out quite a bit different on this, unless there's something somewhere that I'm not aware of.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the
The number,
46,501.
501.
those are utilities. That's all that is utilities.
There's not an appropriation in here
Okay,
for the airport.
so, well, there's that 46,000, but what's the,
That's the grant.
so where in the big scheme of things is what they worked out?
Well, according to the mayor, he wasn't going to put anything in the budget as far as an appropriation.
That's not what he told the airport authority.
When did you tell him that?
Hang on, let me,
He told me the same thing, he wouldn't put nothing in it.
Well, he told me the same thing, but then he told the authority that he was. And that he
Is there
had.
something in the transfers? Karen?
yeah, I think there's money in here for that, y'all, hold on, let me find it. I had
Right here,
56,400, I
56,400
believe.
is in the, it's in one of those transfers out or something. But at some point in time, y'all are gonna have to sit down and decide what you're gonna give to the authority to take care of and what you're gonna keep yourself.
Here it is, projects, airport match for grant plus 3,000 a month for airport.
And,
1,700 a month goes to the authority, rent goes to the
Right.
authority. We're told of 56.4.
is that close to what they had?
Where's
agreed
the,
on?
I'm lying.
Look about, under projects, the last line
Yeah.
under projects.
Airport match for grant. 3,000 a month for the airport. What
Plus
they
the
had,
Plus
It's really
1,700.
4,700 a month.
okay. But that's saying like that we're gonna be doing the 1,700 a month, and that's not. So basically what this is the amount that the mayor agreed with them on, minus the grant match and minus the 1,700 a month, which was not part of it because we knew the 1,700 was going directly to them.
It is not going
It's not,
directly
it's
to
coming
them.
to us. And then we're turning
Y'all
around
haven't
and giving
turned
it.
anything over to the airport authority. So, right now, I keep encouraging you all to sit down and decide what you're gonna do with that, because it's creating more work for everybody, because y'all are having to approve everything that happens out there before I can even issue a purchase order.
I'm following you on that, and the last authority meeting we had, that's what Doug said was in the process of happening right then, and that raise checks would start going directly to the authority.
It can't start going to the authority until you all
That's up to us.
do something with what you have. The lease is with the city of Silicaga.
I understand, and what we were instructing the mayor to do was to go ahead and follow through on that there was no more action that we had to take, is that when
Yes,
we
there
is. A lot of
set up,
action we
what do
have
we,
to have.
what do we need to do then?
We need to
Y'all
decide
have to
what we're,
clean up your
we need to
business.
decide what we're going to turn over to them.
You have to do something with the lease itself. You have to reassign the lease. There's lots of pieces of council action. You can do it all at one time, but you gotta put it all in a pile and decide, okay, I'm gonna keep this, I'm gonna give that to y'all. It's one of those situations. You gotta sit down and look at what the entire airport covers and figure out what you're gonna turn over to the authority and what the city of Silicaga is gonna keep. And until you do that, then it doesn't make sense to put a number in this budget to write a check to the airport authority until you know what you're gonna have to take care of yourself and write checks directly for, and what you're gonna give them to pay for out of what you appropriate to them.
Well, my understanding, we'd already done all that, and that was in the process of happening. And that was what was reported back to the authority during the last meeting.
If you all have done that, you have not done it as a body.
Yeah, we've not taken formal action.
Okay, I thought
And I
that
have
a
not
lot of
been
that
part of
was
any
that
of those
last
meetings.
round of stuff that we did.
No, the
was-
only thing you did was create an airport authority. You have done nothing else formally. Now, what y'all have done outside this room or outside the council
No, I'm
chamber,
talking about that last round of stuff that we voted on this last time.
all you did was
What-
allow me to write purchase orders to keep the AWAS going and to keep the contracts in place that we currently have in place with the city of Solocaga. The airport authority will have to come back and ask you for anything outside the normal routine activities of that airport that we have currently in place.
Nothing's really changed to this point. I mean, everything's pretty much the same way as it was.
The number that's in here as far as the utilities go, that money that's here for airport expense, those are the things that we have been paying that y'all kinda gave me permission to continue writing purchase orders for. Now, when y'all get through with your business of deciding what you're gonna keep and what you're gonna give away, that number's probably gonna change too. Because you're probably gonna roll that number and this one over here, or you're gonna combine them in some form or fashion so that we write a check to them and they pay all those things that we currently are paying. We don't pay them anymore.
Utilities.
You're right. Whenever y'all figure out what you're gonna do, and at least in my mind, that's kinda what I see happening, is you write them a check and they take care of everything airport. Now, that may not be the way y'all wanna do it, but
That's how I wanna do it.
your numbers in this
I
budget
think-
right now have to reflect the current
Sure.
situation.
But I mean, I think we need to turn it all over to them. I mean, they're an airport authority now. I mean, I think we need to,
And let them contract Ray that.
now whatever, you know, yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to cancel that contract with Ray, but, I mean,
No, it was to just assign that contract to
To
them,
the
that's
authority.
to the authority.
It's kinda like a lease, you sublet it to
And then
someone.
let them collect the money for the hangar and whatever else.
well, I mean, that's already in here. I mean, sure, the check's coming from Ray to us, but we're turning around and giving it back to them right now.
But I'm saying give whatever comes in through the airport,
Yeah.
let them have it and pay the bills.
That's what the mayor was saying. He was saying, let's not write any bills. Give them cash out $3,000 and raise money goes directly to the authority. So that'd be $56,400 a year. And last year with utilities, we spent about $45,000 on them, less grant expenditures.
But there's nothing in here to take care of, that 46 had to be put back in because that's on top of all this.
That's right.
That's why it shows up somewhere else.
That's right.
It would probably be cleaner if you could just do one line and put it all in there so that it shows up and that's that, but.
Yeah.
Right
please-
now,
Please sit down and figure out what y'all are
Yeah,
gonna
just
do
do
so
it,
that it
yeah.
cleans everything up.
because right now the appropriation is 56,400.
In total, when you consider everything.
That's right.
But it's
And
cash
it's
out.
not an
first.
appropriation, but
And what's the
You're gonna write
36
them a
over on
check
the other
For
side?
$3,000 a month.
that's part of it. That's $3,000 a month.
Is that this 36,000 right here, or is that on top of that?
No, that's
Now,
that
that's
$36,000.
$3,000 a month,
So
and
you
then
got it
another
in twice,
1,700
or
a
you just
month.
got it listed? Do you just have it,
That's where it is on that line, the 36,000. The 1,700 will be a reduction in the special budget, cause that's a revenue in the 12 fund.
okay, so this is not an additional number, it's just a,
Yeah, that's just
Pulling
me totaling
everything
it.
together.
Yeah.
okay, just a footnote. Did you say that?
So,
Sorry.
so the
I thought my voice got deep.
average of what the
Sorry.
city has been spending over at the airport,
About 45 a year. That's no grant stuff. Just on utilities and light bulbs and petroleum, servicing the fuel system and about 45 a year.
Cause that's
And that's
not
general
even
fund
close to
money, that's
what
not-
I'd heard before.
That's not what's paid out of the special books, that's
Probably had
general
the
fund.
grant expenditure.
What now?
It probably had the grant expenditure, what you heard.
No, cause they didn't have any of it last year, or year before, but it was a bit different than that.
We've had grant expenditures all the time, we've been paying our portion of that
Well,
all
I
along.
understand that, I said, but this was separate from that, so I got a little,
Both sets of books combined, it's about $60,000 or $80,000. When you look at the grant match and all that,
Not that much. With the grant match, yes.
Yes.
yeah,
But I mean, forget grants, cause those are gonna be
I
approved
know,
individually.
but that's what Tom's talking about is
45,000
with the grant
expenses.
match, I'm sure.
Alright, so when all this is combined and it comes out to be 56.4, the maintenance, repairs, all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
that still comes to us right now that we pay.
Right
Yeah.
now it is.
And this amount here reflects that fact. Now, if we do something different, then that number here would change.
Because right now, the $1,700 a month is going into a separate
Yeah,
set of
that's
books, it's
right.
going into the airport fund. The $3,000 a month is strictly general fund contributions.
now, isn't there some other funds from, like jet fuel taxes and such?
It's general fund revenue, that's a city levy.
I know, I understand, I'm just,
That's no different than Allen Oil pays. That's the fuel tax. That's a city levy. Our match on the fuels that you're talking about comes through the grant cycle and through, entitlement funds and so forth. We get a shared part of the state levy that comes back to us that way.
Probably need to have a separate meeting just to do airport,
Yeah.
don't we?
Absolutely. Was there anything else on the appropriations?
Do I have anything else?
just getting the mayor and Tommy in the same room to come up with the difference, the discrepancy between the
Two numbers?
two numbers, and
Well, Tommy and the mayor can't do anything without y'all deciding what y'all are gonna do.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that part of the deal with setting up the authority was that the mayor would sit down with the airport authority and they would talk about a budget.
Okay, and I understand that, Tom.
And the budget figure that came from that is different than this.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not arguing with you at all. But right now, there is nothing for the airport authority to manage. Y'all haven't given them anything to manage. That's what I'm asking y'all to do. Then you can work your budget
I'm
out.
on the same page with you, and it should have already been done.
But the mayor can't do it. Y'all have to.
I thought we authorized the mayor to do that. Isn't that not
You have
what we
never
do?
authorized the mayor to do that. The council is the
You're,
one who
you're,
has
you're
to take.
getting jerky with semantics here, but, yeah,
The council does
I
that.
get it. I see where you're going, I understand exactly what you're saying.
We just need to sit down and do it. Whatever.
We've made them an authority, yet we've not given them any authority.
Can we take a minute to run back through some of the things that we found in the departments that may need to be looked at?
Sure. No, real quick, no more questions on appropriations though, right?
Good.
Not that I can ask tonight.
Okay. All right. Departments,
Okay, under A and G on page 5, it's actually kind of A and F now. We've changed it to administrative and finance rather than general. Building repairs and maintenance account number 512-45001. That number should probably be about 35,000 because all of City Hall is maintained out of that account. it had a highlight on it to begin with.
Okay.
Okay,
Most of the things that we have taken care of, that we had problems with, have been taken care of during the maintenance project. And that maintenance project is about to wind down, so there'll be ongoing cost.
so what are you saying?
It needs to be 35,000 as opposed to 30.
It is 35,000.
That's on the new one.
Oh, that's on the new one.
They
Okay,
corrected
well,
it.
I'm looking at that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And this would be different how?
Police department did not have anything for overtime on the original budget. On your new sheets, you probably have 31,000 in there.
Okay.
It is on page 8. Account number 52041-098,
One more time,
31,000.
what line?
It's about 5,000 from the top, time and a half.
41,098 time and a half. Okay,
Okay,
you should have 31,000 in that now.
Mhm.
yeah,
How did that happen?
It was just an oversight, I think.
How did 7, 8 people miss it?
What word was that?
I'll stick to my answer.
Police
How
department?
much should it be?
and the change would be?
31,000.
Yeah, I've already put it in there.
Y'all, I said your sheet may already have
Yeah, the
it,
new sheet already indicates these changes, the
Yeah.
one she gave tonight, the old one.
but
Right.
these are not changes that we talked about
Right,
in the
yours-
last
yeah.
meeting, so.
Right,
Well, these are all changes so far that I agree with.
Janitorial supplies in the police department. Ben buys janitorial supplies for the entire city hall with the exception of the fire department. So that number probably, did you lower it at all?
I didn't know.
It's $500. I know we're talking
Where?
janitorial supplies, right in there
500.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's 42, 502.
Yeah, it's $500. That's probably a little bit high considering that, like I say, Ben buys most of that. The most, probably what they buy is something to wash the cars with, and most likely that ends up in automotive repairs.
So we take that out.
I wouldn't take it all out. We talked about maybe dropping it to $250. Dues and memberships.
hold on, are we gonna do that?
That's fine, yeah.
No, I haven't changed it. I mean, I'm just.
That's what I'm asking, are we gonna do it?
So it's budgeted at 500, just drop it to 250, and that's fine.
We being already buys the supplies.
Okay,
Dues and subscriptions. In looking down the list of things that are in that account, I think Karen had a conversation with Chris and he added an extra $600 to cover the military surplus program. And I think it ended up getting in there twice. At
Okay.
least that's what,
Yeah.
Which
pretty
line
sure.
is this?
the one right
4253 under
the
janitorial.
2300.
I've already lowered it to 1,700
Oh,
because
you
I was
already-
quite sure that was an error.
yeah,
So
Okay.
1,700
Mm-hmm.
is the amount,
okay.
Yes, sir.
okay.
Okay, employee expense, did you change it from 5,000? You left it. Okay, that's 42,518. There's $5,000 in there. Based on what that account is used for, it's primarily drug test, and when someone retires, we do the retirement party, so because it's
Yeah.
open and everything, it kind of covers that and some other things as well. I think that's probably a little bit high based on history, and Karen didn't have anything supporting it. It just looks like level funding to me
Okay.
when we were looking at it.
He didn't
Now,
have any detail on something that he was expecting.
So
to
what do
happen.
we need to put it,
2,000.
2,000?
I don't know
We
that I
spent
got-
2,000 this year. It might just want half it.
Let's see, we're at 5,000, last year we spent, this year we spent
What-
2,000,
historically. Look,
Just a
look on
guess.
your sheet and see what it looks
do
like.
3,500.
Mine isn't.
The account number is
425.
42518,
Give me 2,500?
All right, 518.
under police. Yeah, you're there.
No, 35.
3-year average is 5,000.
Doing 35,
42518?
Well, we're saying drop it to
Oh, yeah,
2,000 and you wanna add
Look what
Alright.
that one
15?
was.
In
Take
20,
that one out.
2010 was 10,000.
No, there's,
2011 was 4,700. 2012 was
Uniforms.
$654.
let's see.
It's been all over the map.
So we spent 2 this year, or last year.
Yeah.
we've got 5 budgeted, that's a difference of $3,000.
Yeah.
Four there, so.
I mean,
And
it's,
we were charging
So
some,
do you think budgeting 3,500 would,
3,500 probably be a little bit better. I mean, he didn't have any detail on it, but I don't wanna
So
say
1,500.
we're on it, I guess.
So 1,500 different.
Yeah. Y'all think that's good, 3,500?
yeah,
The average was 5
They're
too?
going to 35.
Yeah, but that was one year at 10,000 too.
Okay, okay. 35. Is that what y'all want?
I think 35 is a good number. Alright,
there is a reserve officer expense, 42,555. There's $500 in there, and I don't know what that's for, because the insurance, we pay insurance on them and things like that, but I don't know what that cost is. There wasn't anything in his request that Karen could find that supported or explained what it was.
Take it off.
He had 500 in there last year because he had a new SRO officer and he had to do screenings.
But that's in reserve. It's reserve officer expense. It
It's only
wouldn't be in there.
$500, take it off there.
The reserves are like volunteers.
yeah, I mean, they don't,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking SRO.
what would we spend money on reserves for? Do we have to do any sort of testing or anything for reserves? I mean, what,
I don't know, but I think most of the cost associated, the backgrounds and all that, end up somewhere else. I don't think it's isolated to the reserves. I don't know that, do we buy uniforms for them? Do we provide anything for them? I'm suspecting if we buy any type of uniforms or anything like that, they probably get absorbed in the uniform line. So,
okay. Alright,
Take that 5
to me, it
out.
looks like level.
yeah. So we'll just take that 5 out.
Well, now, of course, y'all probably wanna run these changes by the chief, who is not here, so before you say final grace over the budget.
Okay.
Well-
I'll ask him that.
We thought the NCIC was low, but we verified that number. We made sure that there wasn't a
963, 9360.
data processing was right, traffic control. Did we decide to look at traffic control?
We had it
That was
highlighted.
good.
But, because we spent so little comparatively last year.
Who's in that?
45701, right under Metro Jail.
Yeah, we looked at that.
I think that's, we
I
probably
know
leave
that-
that up, leave that, because it probably.
Well, I know the chief has said there's a lot of
There's
traffic.
stuff coming.
Yeah. A lot of expenses we're gonna
I
have.
think we had that in there and we left it there, even though the utilities might be down, because if we have to replace anything, that's where it ends up.
Yeah, that's right.
The chief was anticipating that to
Yeah, that's correct.
start adding up.
I'm thinking that there was a grant, Tom, at one of those programs that I went to. Seems to me like that was one of the things they had to upgrade their, with LED lights, and there was
What's
a
wrong?
grant for it. One of those Main Street programs that I went to in Austin.
You in Austin?
And I think they
If you're on
got a
vacation.
grant to replace the street lights with LEDs and all that, so there may be something that we can check into.
Well, bring it out.
Fire department, you have the captain's salaries in there.
Yes.
You reduced all the other departments' vacancies to about the time that those employees were anticipated to be hired. You've got captains in there for a full year, you
year.
pull those out
Okay.
and just put them back in when you actually hire them.
Okay. That's
I
Okay.
think
Fire department.
I think there's a question, you've got the associated fringes that go with
that
that.
makes sense.
So what we're doing, what's changing?
You want it all out?
What line?
All of it comes out, right?
Well, it's gotta come back to the council.
11090. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the dollar amount is, but it'll be,
What page?
page 10, I'm sorry.
Can-
Alright, these numbers right here identify each department. 535,
I was gonna say that, I don't know what line or what
Got
page.
an
Okay.
idea.
Whatever it was you just said, expenses.
If y'all give me a second, I can do the actual on it.
Okay.
I think there might be something in uniforms that may go along with that too. I don't know that for a fact, and I don't know that there was any detail in Matt's stuff that, did you see anything in his detail that supported any of that?
That's a huge
I'm
variance.
sorry, I was
Go
We
ahead.
go from 801
I'd lost
we
it.
go from 801 to 997.
Well, that's 3 captains plus,
Of course, then
6
again, there's
lieutenants.
gonna be an adjustment there with, interim chief too. There was last time.
there generally is at least a 5%.
So you're saying we drop that down?
Well, let's
Pull
find out how
captains
much
out.
it is for what's the increase for the lieutenant to captain for one. It may be that we discount 2 of them and leave the other one because that's gonna be the increase for going to
I think it was more than
interim
5%.
chief. I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't.
No, it's generally the standard that the council has done in the past is 5%. But that's what it says, is a minimum of 5%. So,
But now, if you take somebody off shift and give them a 5%, that's gonna just about be a wash, though, isn't it? With that
standard has
differential.
been 5%.
No, but I'm just saying, as far as the money's concerned, I mean, as far as the interim, I mean, if you pull somebody off shift, give them a 5% increase with the differential, I mean, it's gonna be pretty close.
It's minimum 5% is what it says for a promotion, and I know it's a temporary promotion, but I'm just telling you what the rule says. It says anytime there's a promotion, that the
Where-
increase should be at
where the
least
problem-
5%.
Where the problem came in with those particular one that they had and why he ultimately turned it down is because he would take a cut in pay.
Sure.
Not from here,
Yeah.
but from
Yeah,
the 1 on 2 off.
working days.
And
working
working,
straight
well,
days.
and working at another place,
Yeah.
so that's where
Alright, so if I take out the promotion to the captains, it's
all 3 of them.
all 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
The 41090 regular pay is $989, $224,
989.
224. And your social security, which is 3 down, is gonna drop to 72,801.
Retirement.
86,284 on retirement.
86,284.
Yes, sir.
That's
Is that
hospital
all
and
3
dental.
of them?
It's all 3 of them.
Is hospital and dental change? Or is it 3 lieutenants and 3 captains, or is it 6 lieutenants and 3 captains?
So that again is a what?
Is it 6 lieutenants, is the worksheet 6 lieutenants and 3 captains, or is it 3 lieutenants and 3 captains?
On the insurance? I'm not following what you're asking.
On the worksheet, is it 3 lieutenants and 3 captains, or is it 6 lieutenants and 3 captains? If it's 6 lieutenants and 3 captains, then you can reduce your health insurance and your dental insurance because that's increased personnel. If it's 3 lieutenants and 3 captains, then it's no increased personnel.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Is it just the
4,
difference in?
5 lieutenants I see.
So then he's got all 6 lieutenants on there, and the budget only shows the difference from lieutenant to captain. Okay, so you're good.
Okay.
That's assuming 3 of the 6 would be promoted. Uniforms may be adjusted a little bit. I don't know why that number is 7,400. I kind of based in my mind that it might be to take care of the captain's outfitting. But, so that number may be able to be adjusted to a more reasonable number. Did you say anything on there?
Mm,
3-year average is 3,400.
But it's got 5 in there to be spent this year roughly. He's got 74 in there, so some
So
of that.
basically, we'd be looking at 9367
Can
difference.
can I ask maybe a stupid question? Did the department head not sit down with the mayor and go over all this?
Yeah.
But then Karen and Doug worked on it after that, and they adjusted the other salaries.
No, I'm not talking about salaries. I mean, I'm talking about uniform. I mean, why are we breaking this down line by line? I just feel like we're going over somebody else's work. I feel like, okay, the chief sat down with the mayor and said, I need X amount for uniforms. And the mayor said, okay, that's what I'll write in your budget. Why are we then going back? You see where I'm coming from? I mean, if that's what the chief said he needed, and the mayor said, okay, that's what we put in that line, what's the question?
I thought you were adjusting personnel in the other departments to take care of those vacancies. You took it out because they had not been hired and weren't anticipated.
I understand that.
So that's what that is, and the 7,400 there, I'm assuming takes care of those 3 captains that are up there, so if you're gonna reduce the salaries and pull them out, then that number could possibly be adjusted as well. That's what I was doing there.
Okay.
Because if you're not gonna fill the vacancies, then that's extra money that's not gonna be spent in salaries in that department
Okay.
that
If
you
we-
can apply somewhere else.
So we
And if
spent,
we have to, if and when they happen, we can go back and put them in.
for the last 3 years, we spent 51, 41, and 48. So if you
The only
dropped
thing he had noted, Rocky, was that the funds were used to provide uniforms for the new personnel we were expecting to hire soon.
Okay. So that's new people.
And he had it up to $1,400.
Okay.
So, I mean, you guys just wanna leave it, or you wanna adjust, or what you want me to put in there?
I mean,
based on,
the uniforms. Well, I mean, we can't really.
you meet in the middle on that at about 6,000.
I mean,
You're right, Rocky, the budget has already been talked to the departments, and that's why I was saying on the police department, the $500 on the janitorial supplies, the 200, where we lowered that down to 250, we had the conversation about that, and the 3,500 on the employee expense, and you took out the reserves. I said that you probably needed to talk
Yeah.
with him and see if there's a reason before you say final grace over it, to make sure, because it may be just like the overtime.
mhm.
You know, it's been passed through how many hands, and we didn't catch it. So it may be the same thing, it may be, oh yeah, well, you know, it was level funded and I just kind of brought it across.
I just don't feel like it's our place to micromanage department heads. I don't think that's the council's place. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think these are,
So we're gonna leave captains in?
well, I mean, you know, I understand what you're doing by adjusting and not hiring. I mean, I understand what you're doing there. But I just don't wanna get into a situation to where we're, as a council, we're micromanaging department heads, because department heads don't report to us. Nobody in the city reports to us.
And that was the actual, when we're talking about the uniforms, that was the actual request. This newest version doesn't have the request, so I went back and looked, and that's
Right.
what it was, and there was a specific reason for that, and I agree.
Then
But,
go back and put those numbers back in the police department that were changed as well, cause it's not right. If you're not gonna look at the numbers within the departments, then it's not right to look at those either, so let's put those numbers back.
okay, hang on, I don't think there's a discrepancy here. We're just talking about that one thing with uniforms, were we not?
Well, I mean, I
I
just,
think it's the same thing, isn't it, Rocky?
it is. It's the exact same thing.
So that'd be 2250 going back into the police department.
Okay, the thing is though, is that you gave one what he requested and the other what you requested, there's nothing to put back in either one of them. Of what
Where?
was requested. It's the same amount. Or do you not change anything? When you're looking at uniforms, is that what you're saying?
We're just talking about departments in general.
In general.
I mean,
Okay.
I think my problem is, just changing this stuff. And I mean, that's fine if we go back and we talk to these department heads, but I think my problem is changing this stuff and I mean, if we're gonna change this stuff, we need to make dang sure we talk to the department head. Because I mean, this is their budget and I don't think it's our place to change it without, just for the sake of change, just because we think that it's right. I mean, what if Chris or Matt or Tommy or Trish or whoever, what if they have a specific purpose for that and there's a reason they put that number in there and that's the right number, but then we go and yank the rug out from under them. I mean, I just don't think that's our place. I could be completely wrong, but I just feel like we're really.
So,
Now, I mean, Trish, I understand as far as the captains, as far as what the pay. Look, those folks aren't going to get hired for an entire year.
Right.
We'll be lucky to get them 9 months.
and then, so what are we talking about otherwise?
Well,
The only
we
thing I
talked
heard
about
was
some things in the
uniforms.
I went back to the police department and I said, we talked about some things in the police department that the janitorial supplies, for example. Ben buys the janitorial supplies for City Hall.
Right.
And historically, that's been the case, and there haven't been any expenditures in there. So we talked about maybe some soap for the cars or whatever. So we talked about reducing that to $250 because it's an increase. I mean, it's an increase over what it was requested in 14.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in his documentation that supports it, according to what Karen said. And we talked about that. So if there's a reason for it, then there's a reason for it, but.
And like the reserve officer. I mean, that looks like it's level funding. I agree, but and he didn't spend anything last year. But if it's in there, shouldn't we at least go back to that department head and ask?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Before you say final grace over it, there may be a reason, but it's
Yeah.
not in his documentation, so
Yeah.
to find out.
So I'm putting janitorial back at 500. I'm putting reserve back at
500.
500, and I'm gonna put 3,500 in, if I can find it.
So put 1,500 back and put all those back. All three of those.
Employee expense. Done.
So maybe he's not gonna have any overtime.
Yeah. That's right.
Dues and subscriptions you need to put back at 2,300.
No, I know that was a mistake. I talked to him about that one. That was just a mistake. That was a boo-boo.
Employee expense back to 5.
Got it. Alright.
All right. Were there any other questions as far as departments go? Anything that jumped out at y'all? I mean, if it jumps out like the overtime,
Yeah.
I mean, if it just jumps out like that, I mean, that's something we need to discuss. But
Alright.
going through and
Yeah, I had something to consider in changing. On the very first page, revenues. Second and third line, state and local alcohol tax. Go from 17 to 19 and 2750 to 30.
What line are you
The second and third line.
at? Okay.
Where are you?
First page,
No, just tell me the account.
revenues.
State alcohol, second one.
Second, third line, go from 17 to 19 and from 2750 to 30,000, based on history.
19 and 30.
Right.
4,500. 4,500, right?
What?
Adding 4,500.
Adding.
Altogether, the increase is
Okay.
52.
You're talking about revenues increasing one from 17,000 to 19,000, that's $2,000.
Okay.
And say it's increase one from 2,750 to 3,000, that would be a total of 4,500, right?
If you said adding 4,500, yes, but all I heard was 4,500, so I didn't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's the difference.
I could have been a line number, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Is that good with everybody?
Adding part might have been a clue.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Trish, Karen, did y'all, as far as departments go, did y'all have anything else like the overtime for police, anything else that just jumped out?
I think the fire department dues and subscriptions is low,
Okay.
based on what he currently pays. Unless they're not planning on doing something, I think the 939 is low
Where's this?
in the fire department.
42,503.
We paid 1,585 last year.
And when you run through, he's got the NFPA, that 1165, 50, we may not have to redo that, we may not have to renew that every year. It may be a one-time purchase, but based on what we paid out of that account, that number appears to be a little bit low. But there are probably some things in other accounts that can take care of that, that one shortage. In, the street department, y'all ask about beautification and cemetery. Beautification is the utilities for all the different planters around town. And that's primarily what that is utilities, and then some repairs and so forth that we make in those different places. In cemetery, there was nothing charged, but we have in the past broken a headstone that we had to have replaced, or we had to have repaired, put back together, and that kind of stuff. So the theory there was put some money in there in case you do.
Yeah.
If you need to take some out, you can take that out, and it'll just kind of get absorbed somewhere else. I mean, it's $500.
Yeah.
Jim Armstrong said after he finished the work at the Girl Scout hut, the roof leaked and messed up what he had done with some of the ceiling tiles, and that he's going to need help paying for that roof. And that was not his original request.
Southern States, help it. Southern States will help it. You can just go apply for a loan.
Just tell me what to say. $3,000.
Is sidewalk improvement at 5,000, that's what y'all had put in there, I think. Did it make it to the change? Page 13?
It did,
I did,
Okay.
I changed that.
yeah.
And the 3,500 for the subdivision publishing the new subdivision regs, it was 35 instead of 38.
Oh, you're moving on, okay. So it was 35, okay.
It was 35 instead of 38.
Alright.
Trish, where is that, and do I have it right?
Yeah, you have it right.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have anything else highlighted.
I think I do either, I was flipping through to see.
Doug was gonna give us some information on that $10,000 update.
Oh, the Auburn strategic plan.
Has anybody got any information on that from him?
I have no clue.
I wanna understand what we get for that before we approve that.
So where are we at so far, Karen? Can you,
You want the bottom dollar, you want revenues expenses?
just
Bottom dollar,
bottom
we
dollar?
negative. Is that right? 13,783. Let me check my math real quick. Negative $30,446.
$30,400.
46.
I could have gone the wrong direction. I had about 4,000 less, but, or more negative, but that's my running tally. Of course, we did do the flip-flop on a few of those,
Yeah,
so.
if you,
One-
Joe found money, so y'all gotta find money too.
One item killed us though.
The overtime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The what?
Well,
over-
the overtime would be
might have
alright.
killed us.
Yeah, sure it did.
I just didn't think they planned on having any. I thought, that's great.
Yeah, right. Wishful thinking.
It's gonna be tough for fire department to stay in their budget too.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I don't.
Well, if you work
I don't have a lot of
two shifts,
faith.
your overtime.
If you just work your regular shift, your overtime.
That's what I'm saying.
9
If you
hours
work
built in.
2 shifts in a week, you're overtime.
Okay.
With no out.
Is there not an exemption on that?
It is. It's allowed to deduct any out time as hours worked. You're allowed to set a work period.
What I'm saying though is that the 40 hours a week, anything over 40 hours a week, firefighters working 24-hour shifts.
They don't get that.
I don't know.
It's everything over,
It ain't gonna get fixed tonight.
159 and 21 days.
Okay. Which, just different way of doing the math, but it's the same thing.
It's not like 40.
Hey, the main part of the game plan is making sure that, that 250 is really supposed to be 250 and not 222.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
big
20.
part.
Yeah, okay.
That would be helpful.
I'll check it. I'll check it.
And if we wanna spend that 10,000 on that update.
We could also save 29,000 by not doing the GIS thing with the
CDG.
with the road improvements. Just doing the evaluation and not doing the GIS right now. The GIS is something we can come back and do later. There's 29,000 right there.
Is it in here?
It is.
It is.
Question,
Yes.
how much is the road evaluation?
69.
$69,000. Do we have a reasonable hope of finding some money to
Transfers out.
follow through on the findings of the evaluation?
I think that's something we'll have to look at when we find out how much it's gonna cost.
Well, I understand that. What I'm saying though
It's
is
in
that,
282.
I mean, realistically, they're not gonna come back and say
Look down the bottom.
$200,000 is gonna take care of all your
It's in
problems.
282.
Yeah.
That's not within the realm of possibility.
Right. I understand.
Instead of coming back later, doing that and coming back later with the GIS, why not hold off until we have a reasonable idea that we're gonna have some money to invest it?
Well, I think that's something, I mean,
Knowing how bad it is important, but it only becomes truly important when we have some reasonable funding to address it. Right now, we don't have a game plan in place for addressing it. That's $69,000.
yeah.
You follow where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do, but I will have to, I mean, I do see what you're saying, but I will have to disagree. I mean, I think we need to figure out, I think first, you gotta figure out how much it's gonna cost. And then you start looking for money. I mean, we gotta figure out, one, what we need to fix, what a priority is. I mean, just like, and I know it's a much smaller scale, so I know I'm kind of comparing apples and oranges, but, for instance, when the museum wanted to do some improvements, we said, okay, prioritize it, and then we'll see about getting you some money. We need to figure out what you need first, and then we'll see about getting you some money.
Okay, I get that. Let me change directions here a little bit. The last administration took how much out and budgeted for right before they went out for paving? Somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million, didn't use quite all of it, right?
7.2, when they went.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million. And can we look at that and honestly say that it made any real major difference in the problems that we had? My point is that I understand the idea of wanting to know how bad the damage is, but until we have a reasonable expectation of at least an idea of where the money might come from to address it, that's just spending money to find out how much we need to spend that we don't have and don't have a reasonable hope of. If we could start looking for the idea of where to get some money, we have some reasonable expectations that could be somewhere in a reasonable amount toward what we're gonna find, then spend the money to find out exactly how bad it is. But right now, we don't have, I've never heard anybody say anything about where we might find money to address those problems at all. And until we have an idea of where we might get it.
Well, here's the problem. We're up against the wall. I mean, we can't just not do it anymore.
I didn't say that.
We can't just, we've turned the other way and looked the other way for so long. And it's not just us guys. When I say we, I mean for years. But there comes a point.
It needs to be done.
I'm not denying that. I'm saying
whether we have to look at doing a bond issue.
We don't have to.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's on the next one.
So, and here's the good thing. I mean, if there is a good thing, a silver lining, I guess. With that $69,000 for that evaluation, if we end up doing a bond issue, we can pay ourselves back out of that bond issue.
You have to do
No,
that
we can't. Not
reimbursement
right now. We
resolution.
haven't done the reimbursement resolution.
The reimbursement resolution will come if we decide we want to do a bond issue. Because it goes back 60 days. So.
That I handed you,
Mm-hmm.
that line is blank.
The highlighted line?
Mm-hmm.
Why would it need something in it for this year?
Because you're gonna have one, aren't you?
But it's not gonna cost us anything.
So we're gonna pay all the cost out of, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, then that's good then. We won't have to put anything in there.
Alright,
All right.
y'all look over this thing again, guys. We got $30,000 we gotta come up with. At least. Okay. That's enough numbers for tonight. Thanks, guys.